Imagine being me, right? Imagine having everything set up properly for once, and then you forget to change the Twitch information. I'm very smart. I'm literally double playing right now. Oh no. Okay, I need to fix the stream information. That's the first thing. Alright, there we go. Even in the intro, the game lags on Eternal Forest. If that isn't indicative of something, I don't know what is. Anyway. We're getting right into it, chat. For those of you who missed it last time, we decided, for better or for worse, this is going to be a mono water stream. And the problem is, we decided that right before the grass gym. So we're going to have a... Hello? We're going to have a very bad time with this. I have no clue what we're going to do. Last challenge was an awfully speedy young guy. His name was Chat. Gym leader has to beat all the other gym trainers first. They're waiting for you in the back. I can't wait. This is gonna go very poorly. Alright, does our side deck know confusion yet? It does not. Oh no. Who's our main hitter for this? I think it's actually just Bibarrel. That's not entirely true. Shellos can swing. But this is gonna be very difficult. Hello? Oh no. Oh wait, hidden power should be super effective, right? Alright, there we go. We have a strat. Oh no, leech seed. Oh no, we're getting seeded. I'm very far from my mic. Let me pull it over. There we go. Squimgle. Hello? Tracking? There we go. Roselia. Okay. I don't remember what math we were doing on like which type this hidden power is, and, like how super effective it is, but it's still probably our best bet, honestly. I kept a seeded Pokemon in. I'm bad at the game. I'm bad at Pokemon. Hello? The game's apparently also bad at running. Alright, let's switch here. What are we switching to? Good question. We could probably get like a disable off, right? Uh-oh. Tail Whip? If it calls a grass move, like if it gets a grass move, oh no. You know what? Maybe disabling Stun Spore wouldn't be that bad. Disabling Mega Drain would be very good now that I think about it. go! Alright, now, I guess water. Water the otter. If it gets poisoned, I'm gonna be very upset. Okay. We have to go with Swift, because I don't want to make contact. Dang. Dang. Okay, well now contact doesn't matter. In which case I think quick attack would be better. Yeah, that's better! No longer disabled. Uh-oh. We gotta get it now. Okay, it didn't click Mega Drain, let's go. Don't be- No! Don't click Mega Drain. No! Okay, I'm calm. I'm sorry, yeah. That's rough. I guess, when in doubt, be Barrow. Oh my gosh. Momentum. Momentum. Also, the fact that rock is neutral into grass poison is wild. I thought at least one of those would have resisted it, but I guess not. Oh. Oh, I have to wait for it to go all the way around, don't I? 330. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. 6:15, but not actually. I'm gonna have to heal after every single trainer. Oh, this is gonna be awful. Hello? Why is the game lagging? What is this? If this keeps being an issue, I might, like... Oh my gosh. Alright, chat. Second gym trainer, here we go. We will not win easily. This is gonna be very rough for us. Oh no. Their Pokemon might be lower level. They are! Alright, hidden power. Hello, please? Why is the camera? There we go. I can't see the screen now! I'm like shifting things around. There we go! Now I can see. Hidden power sweep, hidden power sweep. I'm sorry, Vidoo. Oh right, I still have the EXP share on! I was like, why did Mallard gain experience? Then I remembered. The progressively ramping Badoos, oh no. Squimble is paralyzed. No! Paralysis is gonna be such a big problem. Get him, get him, get him, get him! Why does it keep stuttering? This is... I may be missing something here. We take those. I'm gonna say switch here. Switch to Mallard. Does Mallard learn Confusion at level 18? Is that it? I hope it does. I hope it learns Confusion so we have, like, something to leverage against the grass poison types. Aside from exactly hidden power. Okay. In Gen 4, when does it learn Confusion? Level 18! Okay, so we're good. We're good. We're so good. Oh no. Already a problem. Okay. At least now I don't have to fear Poison Point. Honestly, at this point, like... at this point... Poison might be... Hello? I'm so mad. Please survive. Amazing job, Psyduck. Get back in here. When in doubt, Bibarrel. Bibarrel right through. I also am hoping, I'm really hoping that the chatbot messages that I set up actually work. Let me see if they're active. Oh, right, people have to actually talk in chat for that to happen. I'm sorry. That was worded really meanly. I'm so sorry. I just read part of it where it's like, oh yeah, it has to be every, like, 5 lines so it's not spamming. Hello, hello! Hello, Kununi! We finally have Confusion. We finally can do something. Oh yeah. I hope you're having a good time. We're just chilling out here. Also, wait, that oh my gosh, that emote is so cute. Little blanket. The fountain also stops if I lose. I know they're like explaining the conditions of it, but it's like, it's so weird. The floral clock moves to the next position if I lose. The fountain also stops if I lose. But yeah, I hope you're having a good day. We're just kind of chilling out, playing some Pokemon Platinum. I held a poll on the Twitter, and the poll was surprisingly close. So let me pull up the results. It was, the options were Pokemon Platinum, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Lego Star Wars, or trying out Paladins. And Platinum won, but then like it was like Mystery Dungeon's right behind, and like Paladins is right behind that, and then Lego Star Wars is right behind that. It was pretty close. Just lurking and vibing. Honestly, that's really good. We love vibing. I will say, I'm not vibing with the amount of stuttering that the very legal means by which I'm playing this game are occurring. Before anyone asks, before Mr. Nintendo tries to harm me, I do have a copy of Pokemon Platinum that I, like, was bought for me back in the day. Obviously I can't physically stream that cartridge because I don't have the device, the means to. But I do legally own a copy of Pokemon Platinum, officially produced by Nintendo. I think I bought it at, like, a GameStop or a Target or something. Also, we have to give the EXP share to someone else now. I'm thinking we give it to Magikarp, honestly. Because, like, he can technically contribute now. But that's a big technically. Can't win when you're distracted by the lovely aromas of Pokemon. Watch me. Oh no, what is it? Level 19? Oh, please don't stun Spore. That's okay. That's acceptable. Please poison me, maybe? Dang it. Wrong roll. Wrong roll. Right roll, hello? Oh no. This is gonna do all my health and she's gonna regain all of her health. You know what? Acceptable. I'm going to switch to water. She's going to use Mega Drain or Stun Spore, and it's okay. Okay. 40 base power, by the way. 40 base power, by the way! Hello? Alright, I guess it's the barrel time. When in doubt, roll on. Are you kidding me? Please, please, please just swing. No! This is pain. Oh? Can we get a 3? Please, 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 please. Let's go! What is my mic quality right now? I think I accidentally turned the gain back up. Hold on. Oh no. All right, we're back to normal gain. Alright. It's possible to walk across the fountain now. Chat, some of you may be wondering, why no Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl? 2 reasons. 1, I don't have those games. If people want to get them for me, you're more than welcome to, but I don't see any reason to specifically go out of my way to spend money on those games. Just my personal preference. 2, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl are based in Diamond and Pearl. Which I know. Not surprising. But let's just say the differences between Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, in a number of ways, are as, if not more significant than the difference between, say, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, or Gold, Silver, Crystal. You could argue that Emerald has a number of more significant differences. I wouldn't disagree with you in that. But there's a significant difference between playing Diamond and Pearl and playing Platinum. They're both, like, still solid games, but Platinum's just better. Like, I hate to say it. I know the whole thing is like, oh yeah, there's just like the third version's almost always like the strictly better version. But like, I feel like Platinum is the one time where it's like, this feels like, aside from just having significantly more content and like fixed visuals and a lot of stuff, or better visuals and a lot of stuff, it's also just like the Sinnoh Pokédex's patch notes, where like, we'll go over it when we get to later gyms, but some gym leaders, as I'm sure you're aware if you're a Pokemon fan, some gym leaders just have Pokemon that aren't of the type that they use. And while that offers some like unique storytelling, like how Candace has a Medicham to kind of like lampshade her friendship with Maylene, it doesn't make sense outside of that. Like, and then there's the whole thing of like Flint having oh god, I just realized we're about to get absolutely whipped. There's like the whole thing of Flint, right? Where Flint has like, he has Infernape, he has Rapidash, and then his other 3 Pokemon in his fire team are Lopunny, Steelix, and Drifblim. And Drifblim is like, okay, hot air balloon. Steelix, it's like, okay, like, you know, like a forge, I guess. You can make that argument. But then Lopunny, it's like, the only stretch argument that I've seen people make is like, oh, it's hot as in like attractive because it has the Playboy bunny thing. It's like, really? Is that where, oh, the Turtwig is set up. Uh-oh. Please crit? Oh no. Please don't use a draining, uh-oh. That's not good. That's not good! Okay. Alright, who gets it? You know what? Blazel gets it. Oh my gosh! Oh boy. Oh no, I see what's happening here. Oh no. Oh no! Chat? This is not looking good. You know what we gotta do. We gotta go in! Please don't crit, please don't crit, please don't crit. And wouldn't you know, perfect timing rollout. Sunny day? Why would you use sunny day? Oh, that explains it. And it transforms! Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Heck, I guess. Oh my gosh, it's faster. That's it? That's all the damage that it does? Oh, this is awful. Alright, what's the level cap for the gym leader? I need to know. Because this might just be another training arc. That's rough. let me see what is the cap? The cap is 22. Okay, we can train up to 22. You know what time it is, Chad? It's time for another training montage. Because I misjudged the level of the gym leader's Pokemon. Let me turn the sound off and we'll listen to the music box, actually. We're back to chill vibes, chat. Not true chill vibes, though, so someone can hypothetically pan me if they want to. But nobody would do that, right? Yeah. Hello? I forgot about this guy. I forgot there's just people over here that you can fight. I feel like once we get like all our Pokemon evolved, this team's gonna really pop off. But until we reach that point, we're just in pain. I also like just the random little patches of grass here. Like, I don't know. It sounds kind of like weird and cheesy, but it makes it feel a little more like natural. Like rather than like it's just here's the designated patch of grass in this route to encounter the Pokemon. It's like, oh yeah, but there's also just some over here. Wings, you say? Bimgle, roll. Bimgle, roll. It might actually be worth it to just try the Bimgle rollout strat and just see how much like momentum we get off of it, honestly. Because it's 5 hits, it's progressively increasing. The only issue, if you can call it that, is that... Well, this headbutt actually might just make this easier. The only issue is that Turtwig can... Turtwig can put up Reflect, and that's not great. Bronzor would be really cool to put on the team. Unfortunately, it's not a water type, so we can't do that. Bronzor's such a cool Pokemon, though. Like, especially in this generation, it's got a really good type. It's like... It's got a lot of, like, cool supportive moves, but it's also, like... Bronzor and Bronzong aren't, like, just completely, like... out of their element when it comes to like dealing physical damage. Not physical damage specifically, but like they can pull their weight on a team. Yeah. Am I once again like reconsidering the team structure here where now like I'm just like, hey, what if we just use Pokemon that people don't normally use on their like Sinnoh playthroughs, but that I think are absolutely worth like your time, like, because so in that scenario, most people use for a Sinnoh playthrough, most people use like Staraptor or maybe Crobat as their designated flyer. With that in mind, what Pokemon do we have? We can do Noctowl, but like. We could do Noctowl, but Tropius exists. I've already made my case for Bronzong. Does Drifblim learn Fly? Does Drifblim... What is that shiny sprite? Hold on. Hold on there, fella. What is that shiny sprite? Is this always what it looked like? Chat, for a bit of context, okay? Where is it? Chat, for a bit of context, this is the shiny sprite in question. My question is, what? I forget. I do want to adhere to the poll, but I will also lament what could have been. We could have had our starter, obviously, Drifblim, Bronzong, which Bronzong is really cool. You can't get Glameow or Stunky's lines in this game, because of course you can't. I would have liked to see Flareon, honestly. I think Flareon's really cool. It's not good in this generation, because like its only physical fire move is Fire Fang, which I don't even know if it gets in this generation. Does it? Yeah, it gets Fire Fang in this generation. Doesn't get Flare Blitz, though. Which would have really helped it out, but it doesn't. Definitely, I would say a victim of the physical special split, but all fire moves were already special moves, so it's technically exclusively benefited from it. Yeah, like, Empoleon, Drifblim, Bronzong, Weavile, that's already the start of a good team. Would there be a... I put Flareon on there, yeah. If only just to have a fire type. But then, like, what else? Maybe like one of the Honey Tree Pokemon, because I do still want to show off that mechanic. Nosepass! I love this dude! I love this dude dearly. Unfortunately, you cannot be on the team because you're not a water type. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're once again doing this, chat. In case anybody's just skipped like midway through the video, we're doing this again. Okay, so what is Weasel like hitting with? It isn't. I will say, though, this is a significantly better place to train water types than over with all the grass and bugs. Steel resist Arc this gen. Mental math? I failed mental... Oh, no, I'm sorry. It crit. It didn't even matter. They call me Mathers. Mental Mathers. Eminem. Wait, what song is this? Hold on. Oh, it's Immortals. I was like, wait, I recognize this, and then I realized why. You know, chat, we could be immortals. Hello? Immortals. Because, like, okay, here's the deal, right? In like a normal with big quotation marks playthrough, you could just, like, kind of smash through a gym with, like, a designated Pokemon that, like, whips it, but boy oh boy, do we not have that luxury here. What EVs does Bronzor give? Okay, that's just great, you know? How many turns of sleep is this? Hello? Hello? I was gonna say, if it's about to use hypnosis. How many turns of inactivity was that? I need to know. Where is Bronze? There it is. EVs. Defense EVs. Huh. Actually, yeah, that makes sense. All right, heal the team. I hate to say it, but I think it's established right now is Weasel's kind of the weak link on the team. Like, ultimately, I've sorted out what the final team is probably going to be. It's going to be, Empoleon, Bibarel, Gastrodon, Milotic Vaporeon, and what was the last one? Pelipper, because we need a flyer. Yeah. That's the team, chat. Great. Wonderful. Water gun. I like that Chingling's whole thing is just scream. Like, I know it's a bell, but like that's just what it looks like. It looks like an emoji. If I'm being perfectly honest, it looks like an emoji that like how do I put it? It has I have no mouth but I must scream energy. Except it has a mouth, so it does scream. Alright, what does Pursuit do? About the same. That's not what I wanted to click. Water gun, you failed me. How much accuracy does Hypnosis have in this generation? Is it 70? Okay. 70% accuracy, that's crazy. That's actually insane. I know it's only 60 nowadays, but trust me, that 10% matters. Never let someone tell you it's too small. It can always be... Did Weasel level up? I need to check. Hold on. I can't even check. It did not. I'm going to level Magikarp to 20. It's going to evolve into Gyarados. And then we're actually just going to have to turn our attention to Weasel and just be like, okay. Someone get the stretcher. We have to carry it. Alright, let's continue like this. Let's continue in this specific manner for now. Hello? Wild Pokemon? Dang. I wasn't even playing that at normal speed, so I couldn't even tell for how many steps that was just no Pokemon for. That could have been crazy. Because I was running too. Okay, unnecessary, but fine. Oh no, not rap. Not Gen 1! Not the Gen 1 special! Cleffa! Alright, chat. It's not a water type, but I'm making an exception. It's not going on the team, but I am catching this Cleffa. I love Cleffa so much. I love the entire Clefairy line, honestly. Actually, I don't think I gave them enough, like... Because that's the thing, right? You do, like, the list, or, like, I do the tier list for all of my favorite Pokemon, or, like, my rankings for all the Pokemon. But I feel like it doesn't, like, part of it doesn't capture that, like, that little, like, rarity factor buzz you get, where, like, you're looking through here, like, what's Clefairy's encounter rate? Let me see. Hold on. What is Cleffa's encounter rate? Yeah, 10%. Wait, what? Oh, that's it. Yeah, it's 10% and it said 5% for Zubat. I'm like, it is not 5% for Zubat. You are lying. Yeah, we're just chilling now. Oh, it's just gonna play over and over. Hold on. It's a minute of that. I love you dearly, R3 Music Box, but you're insane if you think I'm listening to a minute of the GameCube startup looping over and over. Wait, I know what song this is. Your society. I'm a fool. I know nothing. I may sound like a silly clown, but I won't turn my back on life. Where's the clip of like someone playing Potemkin and they whiff a grab against a May and the audio just says, "I'm a fool"? Hello? There we go. I should probably, like... I kind of want to stream for longer. I want to stream for longer, and I feel like there are nights where I, like... I have the battery for it, but... But, like... I don't know. I don't have the schedule for it, I think, is the issue. I have to set aside, like, specific days. And then I have to, like, find something to, like, entertain for that time, which, granted, like, I can absolutely find games to entertain for that long. But, I don't know, it's... Maybe it's just me, but, like, I kind of lose confidence in myself somewhat quickly. If stuff's not going over super well. And that doesn't necessarily mean that, like, it's getting, like, bad reception or... Okay. Thank you, Weasel. That doesn't inherently mean, like, oh... like, I can't deal with the stream just not being, like, 100% bumping at all times. Because I can absolutely, like, just... I'm absolutely down. I'm more than happy to have people just kind of chill in the stream. Cleffa! I'm more than happy to just have people chilling in the stream. But, like, I feel kind of bad if it ever gets to a point where I'm just kind of, like, sitting back, playing the game, and not really, like, commenting on anything, you know? Because, like, there are absolutely games, like, this is a game that I can talk about a lot. Probably the game I can talk about the most is, Mystery Dungeon. If only for the fact that alongside talking about the game, I give characters, like, voices and stuff, which I might do for this game, but I feel like... How do I put it? I feel like the Pokemon games offer themselves a bit more, like, leeway for me to, like, ham it up with the voices. And part of that is just, like, oh, the parrot character has, like, the parrot voice. But, like, part of it is also, like, where else am I going to be able to play a character with Wigglytuff's, like, brand of energy, you know? Like, I don't think you can really easily get, like, access to that. I don't think there's any character in this game that has that kind of energy. And then there's also the whole deal of, like, I'm someone who likes, like, who appreciates, like, the official voices. So then it gets to that point where it's like, oh, I want to, like, imitate their official voices. And to an extent, you can argue the same thing for a lot of the Mystery Dungeon stuff, where it's like, okay, well, but they made animated shorts for, like, the Explorer series. So why aren't you adhering to it for that? And it's like, that's a fair point also, honestly. I think it's just like, I like... Explorers of Sky is my favorite Pokemon game. Like, more than any mainline Pokemon game by, like, a handy margin. It is my favorite Pokemon game. And if I'm going to do like voiceover stuff for any given Pokemon game, that's the one I want it to be. Yeah. That's the easiest way to put it. It's also like, I don't know, maybe this is like just a creativity issue, so to speak. But there's a lot of points where I'm just kind of like, this is just kind of like a generic voice. And granted, that's probably how you do for a lot of the characters. Magikarp, evolution time. Finally. Blazing, still my heart is blazing. If the words kill me, I don't need a new world order. You, soon you will know. We already know the smell of the game. Remember, you are blazing, still your heart is blazing. A new world order, you. Soon you will know. We already know the smell of the game. The streambot's still not playing, also. I remember why. I've isolated the problem. Dang. What's short-term memory, guys? That's crazy. I always think, like, so here's the thing. Pokemon, there's, like, gender differences, right? And, like, for some of them, it's easy to tell, like, which gender is used in the official artwork. Whether it's things like, oh, like the horn or like fangs are bigger or smaller, or like, I don't know, there's like a different pattern, or like things like that. Like, probably one of the most obvious ones is, what do you call it? Is, Hippopotas and Hippowdon. I don't think I need to explain the difference between those. It's literally just different colors for each one. But, like, how do you think they determine, like, which one's the default? Because, like, male Hippopotas and Hippowdon are the default visually, but then, like, I think female Metatite is, like, the default for the artwork. Let me confirm that. Yeah, for the artwork for Metatite, possibly also for Medicham. I think for Medicham the default artwork is in male, but for Metatite it's female for some reason. So that brings about like even more questions of just like, who decides that? Like, what led to the decision process that made it so that it's specifically female Metatite for the official art, and then for the official art, and then male Medicham. I want to know the process. I want to know what Ken Sugimori was cooking. Is it that maybe one is designed, and then afterwards they kind of deliberate and they're like, okay, we want to do like a gender difference for this one. Here's how either the male or the female form will differentiate. Because, like, obviously, male Pikachu was designed first. Like, for a lot of the Gen 1 mons, aside from exactly Nidoran, they weren't designed with, like, the gender in mind. So, a lot of those gender differences came about in, I think, Gen 3. Let me confirm that. Oh, gender differences were introduced in Gen 4. Okay. That kind of answers my question about the Metatype Metacham thing, because their official art then was made before their gender variants became a thing. But then that still kind of adds to the question of, like, how... Like, who decides that? Here we go. In most cases, the male version retained the original design while the female was altered. However, the inverse is true for Dodrio, Meganium, Satu Apom, Torchic, Beautifly, Ludicolo, Metatype Metacham, and Milotic. What? The official art for... Oh. The official art for Metacham is apparently the female version. Meganium specifically is the female version because the longer, like, head trails, I know that much. Yeah, like... That would be, like, another thing to... I would say that would be a thing to, like, go over in a video, but, like, 1,000 people have already done all of, like, the... Like, here's every single Pokemon gender difference. Literally all of them. I'm just gonna run down the list here and talk about some of the most interesting ones to me. The Gynecium for Venusaur is kind of cool. Pikachu's Hearttail is always cute. I like that. Nidoran male and female are two entirely different species. What other ones are interesting? The whiskers on Magikarp and Gyarados are white if it's a female. Otherwise, they are colored normally. I think Eevee if it's female, but there's only a difference for Eevee. The female's tail tips are larger and rounder. The gender difference was introduced in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, where it was exclusive to the partner Eevee. Starting in Gen 8, this gender difference was applied to all Eevee. I see. Oh no, the female has normal size antenna. The male is the one with the longer antenna. I see. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, this is an unfortunate situation. Unfortunately, it's just the train. The train is approaching the station. Choo-choo. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Alright, what other interesting differences are there? Let's see. Wooper has different, like, a different set of gill branches, which I think is kind of cool. It's probably one of the most noticeable ones, but I will say, as cool as it is, seeing a Wooper without the extra gill branches just feels incomplete. Like, I know that's kind of weird to say, but it just feels incomplete. It's like, where are your other gills? Oh, wait, this is a cute one. Wobbuffet just puts lipstick on. I'm not even kidding. Female Wobbuffet is just male Wobbuffet, but it has lipstick on. That's the only difference. Female Heracross replaces the standard, like, horn array with a heart, which is kind of cool, I guess. Sneasel and, to an extent, Weavile have the same issue that I have with Wooper, which is that it's a bit of an issue. It's a bit of a thing with a lot of Pokemon where, like, some aspect of it gets smaller for the females, and usually it's like tusks, horns, fangs, or like combat parts, so to speak. But for the ones like Metacham, like for Metatype, the difference is very noticeable to me personally. For like Wooper and like Sneasel, where like the head feather gets shorter, also very noticeable to me, to the point that it actually like kind of annoys me, if I'm being honest. For most of the other ones, it's fine. Let's go through here again. Male Ludicolo has thicker stripes, which I think is kind of cool. Like that's neat. Numel and Camerupt have slightly, emphasis on slightly, larger humps if they're female. That's the only difference. Okay, wait. This is a cool one. For Cacturn, the diamonds on the chest, a male has, what is that? A male has 2, like, small diamonds right in the middle of its chest, whereas a female has 1 big diamond. I think that's honestly, like, one of the cooler ones. A male and female Bidoof have additional tail curls. That's another cute one. I think that one's nice. Hold on 1 second. Oh, I'm kind of low to here. Hold on. I've been like reading something on my screen, so I'm kind of like not facing my mic. Is this better? I hope it's better. Also, hello, Salty. Huh. We're doing some grinding in Pokemon, and I'm talking about dimorphism. You highlighted your message just to say yes. Hello! Hello, Joker! How you doing? We're just playing some Pokemon, we're vibing to the music box, and we are talking about the dimorphism between the genders of Pokemon. What if I get a shiny? So, this is a mono water run, but I am absolutely not, above, like, catching a Pokemon. Meant to catch me last time, but you were out? Completely understandable. Yeah, like, I will absolutely catch a shiny if I find it. The problem is finding it. I would hope that I'm able to notice, if for no other reason than, like, the sparkles. Need to catch more streams from Maid. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so, folks, for anybody who's new to the stream, if you'll look, there's a number of redeems. A lot of them are just cheap ones. Like, oh, outfit toggles, things like that. Like hydrate, things like that. There are more expensive ones. They're more expensive for a reason. Such as the Vaporeon hood and the maid outfit. And the 2 parasocial redeems that I've intentionally set it over 1 million channel points for a reason. But yeah. Don't mind me. A care package, thank you. Ah. Ow. I think I overstretched something. Oh no. But thank you regardless. Ah. Where were we? Oh. Combi is another interesting one. Only female Combi have a little red mark on the bottom face. But also, only female Combi can evolve into Vespiquen. Female and male Buizel and Floatzel have different spot patterns on their back. I need to find a way to have both of these on the same screen at the same time. You know what? This might be the method. I moved the screen over here. This way I can see chat, I can see the game, and then I can also see the Pokemon on the side. This is it. The notch in the dorsal fin, I'm gonna be honest, I don't care for the dorsal fin notch for the Garchomp line. It's whatever. Hippopotas and Hippowdon just being completely different colors is really cool. Let's see. What other good ones are there? I would say the most interesting thing, and probably the only positive thing I can really say about Unpheasant, is that the gender differences do look really cool. Yeah, that's the top to bottom of it. Frillish and Jellison, I love their dimorphism now. Like that's a really good one. Um, Pyroar. Pyroar is cool. Pyroar is another cool one. It's basically just lions and lionesses. Um, I like that Meowstick, they like kind of dip their toes back into the Nidoran thing, where they just give them different moves and abilities, and I do like that in Sword and Shield, depending on which version of the game you have, your wild Meowstick are all gender locked. Like you can breed to like get the other ones, but it's like, oh yeah, any Meowstick that you fight in the wild in Sword is going to be male. I think that's very funny. I think they did that with another Pokemon. Yeah, Indeedee and Gen 8. Yeah, actually the same thing. All of them are male in Sword, all of them are female in Shield. They have different stats, and I think they also have, yeah, different moves and abilities. Honestly, kind of cool. I think it's really neat. Pascalegion's another one with a significant difference in terms of color and design. But it's also really cool because they have different stats. How did you... Oh, I was going to say, how did you get confused? Then I remember Water Pulse. Oinkologne are different colors. They have different tail bobbles, and they have different abilities, and I think stats and moves also. But yeah, I think of like the dimorphism of the gender differences, my favorite one's probably I think in terms of pure novelty, my favorite one is probably Wobbuffet, just putting lipstick on. I think that's a really good one. Where are we right now in terms of levels? Well, I know where we are, but like, how close along is Weasel? Is he level 20 yet? Weasel's been getting carried this entire time. This poor dude cannot stand on his own. Does he get a new move? He does not. Of course not. This will speed along the process regardless. Squimgle. Water Pulse. Mud Bomb. I just wanted to use Mud Bomb. I just want to use Mud Bomb. Everyone's always talking about Water Plusle, but never Water Minin. What am I saying? Everyone wants to park their car in the shade, but no one wants to plant a tree. Everyone wants to use Mud Bomb, but nobody wants to miss.
Alright, chat. Hopefully by the end of the video we will have, or the end of the stream we will have defeated Gardenia, and I'll get to show off the under. Okay. Alright. Understandable. How much is that? That was 34 on a crit. I think. Yeah, we're fine. $34 on a crit, pre-nerf to crit. I think that's. How much was that? That'd be 17. We are now officially in confusion range. It doesn't matter. It suddenly matters. Low damage roll be like. How much harder than Psyduck is Shellos hitting? Because part of it is due to Shellos just having better moves, but like Psyduck's swinging with 29. Shellos is swinging with 33. That's really. Oh, hello, Gyarados. What are its moves? Oh, it only has 3 moves. We're going to be using Bite and Bite. Oh, we're gonna get everyone up to level 20 and then we need to fight the gym leader. Every time I hear this song, I always forget what song it is. It's Tornado Man. For some reason, some part of my brain says this is an anime opening, and I'm like, it might be though. Let me check. And then I look, and it's Tornado Man. Every time. Can we talk about the fact that, like, Tornado Man and Splash Woman exist, like, after Sage Harpooya and Fairy Leviathan exist? Like, I know that's probably the point. Like, they're probably supposed to be some sort of reference there, but, like, I don't know. It just still, it feels weird. Like a weird continuity thing. Where it's like, yeah, like, here's these established characters in Mega Man Zero. There's actually some characters in classic Mega Man that are like 2 or 3 degrees of like relation away from them and just happen to like look very similar to them. And obviously they have like fairly similar powers as well, but like given that it's Mega Man, that's kind of what I would expect. It's time to play a fun game. It's called Is It Heat Proof or Levitate? It's Levitate. We're both confused now. Okay. Alright. I understand. I don't want to play the game. I did want to play the game. We're a Kamen Rider music box. I can pull up a Kamen Rider song on here. Yeah, give me 1 sec. I can pull up a Kamen Rider song. There we go. Also, care package again. Oh yeah, I did it again. Ow. I overstretched again. Ow.
Oh yeah. So we can make it. Alright, it's time to play Will I Wake Up? I will not. Okay. Anyway. Great, I can't use confusion now. Wonderful. I can't use confusion, but boy can I be confused. Oh, he can't use confusion either because he imprisoned him. You fool. You absolute. We're not gonna talk about this. No, I get to use confusion. Oh my gosh. Hello, Psyduck? Water Pulse. Water Pulse. Water Pulse. I also do need to like kind of extend this invite to people as well. Is what was it? Also, we've had at least 5 messages in chat now. What's happening with the chat bot? Have I read this wrong? Let me see if this changes anything. We shall see if the chatbot feels like working now. Maybe. Yeah, I honestly wish like I had more time to just like do this. Like just stream and chill with you guys. And part of it is kind of like, I don't want to call it burnout, but like, sometimes I'm not just like, I'm just not like, socially vibing, you know? That's just how it is sometimes, honestly. Superstar, so in his guitar, does your pretty face see what he's worth? Alright, super effective on grass, not very effective on steel. That sounds like flying? We'll see how it matches up against Machop. If it's super effective against Machop, then it's flying. Which is not amazing. Like, Hidden Power Ice would be really cool, but it's not terrible. Oh, perfect, a Machop. It's not? I am now looking up what Bronzong resists. Or Bronzor. In Gen 4 specifically, because I know Steel's resistances were changed. Okay, so it could be. It could be ice. It could be ice still. Definitely not fire. So it actually might be hidden power ice, yeah. Alright, it's time for you to use Imprison, so then we both just can't do anything. Okay, great, wonderful. Now I'm confused. Now I'm double confused. Water gun. Ow. Now you've imprisoned us. Wait, why can he use it? Psyduck wanted to know as well. Psyduck was just as mad as I was. Yeah, we might have already established that it was ice in a previous video as another issue. Like, I might just be dumb. I might just be really dumb.
I'm also leaning forward so you can't hear me again, so let me lean back. So you can hear me. This is another thing that I really want to do, honestly. I want to do, like, movie nights in my server. And more specifically, I want to subject you all, and I do mean all of you, to the Speed Racer movie. Because that movie is so different. It's, how do I put it? It's very brightly colored. I think that's the simplest way I can put that. I will have to check to make sure people don't have epilepsy watching that movie. Just the way you are. Part of me wanted to disable confusion out of spite. I'm gonna be so real with you. Part of me would be like, that would be so absolutely hilarious. Just be like, no one gets to use confusion now. We will go to this one after we do the gym. Oh, what'd it do? It's doing pretty good. We're just playing some Pokemon. No worries, no worries. You're fine. Alright, I'm thinking Gyarados lead because Turtwig is our only physical attacker. Can I just go around the edge? No way. Yeah, no way. Turtwig is our only physical attacker because Cherub's a special and Roserade's a special. So I think Gyarados lead is going to get the most mileage out of Intimidate. And from that point, we kind of just ball. So let's see what happens. Turn the sound back on. And let's go. This is gonna go very poorly, chat. We're doing a mono water run and this is the grass gym. Chat, it's time to bite. Flinch? Flinch again? I don't even care. No way it happened. No way it happens 3 times in a row. Let's go. Let's go. I have to do it. I have to do it. I have to do the entire speech. Hold on. I have to do the entire thing. Where is it? Unfortunate doesn't begin to describe my series. This game rewards blind luck and nothing else. Drip? Drip? This game rewards blind luck and nothing else. I am beyond convinced at this point. After getting completely tilled by scheduling with my opponent, changing times on me at the last minute, and refusing to provide confirmation prior to the day of the match as to the play times, losing this way somehow felt even worse than I had thought possible. My preparation was superior, my play was superior, and I lost. So I don't see a reason to continue engaging in an activity where what is within my control is overwhelmingly outweighed by what is not. I am done with competitive Pokemon, and you won't get a fond farewell. This community is infected to the roots of a degenerative disease that grows stronger over time, but stops short of killing its hosts. Tournaments used to have a competitive spirit at their heart. This has been transplanted and replaced with an artificial organ that feeds on vitriol and mockery from insecure little boys that heckle by the sidelines and tear each other to shreds over scraps of attention. The environment we fostered has trapped us all in a vicious cycle, and escaping it requires acceptance of the harshest reality we all scramble to explain away. That none of the countless straining efforts we put ourselves through here will ever amount to one single shining glimmer of significance. I would make this the end, but World Cup is still ongoing, and I would never leave so many great friends out to dry, so I'll suffer through a few more games for them. One last thing before I leave you all to react with disdain, ridicule, and self-righteous fervor. Before you do everything in your power to minimize my words and thoughts, box them up and shove them to some cobweb corner of your memory, and hope they disappear forever to sustain on your finite time ground to dust. From this moment on, nothing you say matters to me. The foulest insults you hurl with the intent to wound will calmly settle at the earth before my feet, and the venom you spit will bring all the pain of a warm summer breeze. You are less than anything you can conceive, while I carry on brimming with joy distilled from detachment. It's like Dragon Quest? Yeah, it's... We're playing Pokemon. And this is actually a really good situation we're going into here. We get Safeguard. I don't have anything that status is. They didn't get to set up Sunny Day, which means Chirim doesn't get to pop off as hard. Flinch again? Oh my god, chat. Chat. Do you want me to do it in like a Dio adjacent voice, or do you want me to do it in my own voice? I can do either. I'm just curious. Please flinch. Please flinch. Acceptable. A stupid idea? What's the stupid idea? I want to hear it. Can I do a Dachi? Oh gosh. I don't remember what his Japanese voice sounds like is the problem. Give me 1 sec. Let me remind myself. I should also probably specify, do you want Japanese Adachi or English Adachi? I can try to do either, but I need to know. The Gyarados carry was insane though. Alright.
All systems go, chat. We're coming out swinging. Yeah, you know what? I'll try doing. Hold on, give me 1 second. Alright, it's been a while since I've done the Adachi voice, but I'm gonna try and, like, do my best with it. It seems our personas are quite similar, but your Izanagi pales in comparison to my Magatsu Izanagi. Madama-dama-dama-dama-da! I don't know if that was good. I don't know if that was good. That might have been really bad, honestly. Oh no, Magical Leaf. Please, please. Oh no. Oh, it begins. Yeah, that might honestly have been really bad. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. What is Rosarade's base speed? It's like 100 something, isn't it? It's 90? It's only 90? Hold on. This doesn't feel right. It was great. I'm very glad to hear you liked it. Alright, so Gyarados is here. Okay, yeah, saw that coming. Didn't expect the speech. I had to like warm myself up into the voice is the thing. I can't believe our entire team is about to just get swept by Roserade. That's crazy. Citrus Berry, of course, I forgot. Alright, here's an option. Here's a chance. Gamble everything on confusion. Oh no. It's possible. Chat, it's so possible right now. What is Peck's accuracy? Is Peck a 100% accurate move? It is. All it needs to do is tank whatever attack is coming its way. Magical Leaf. Okay. Let's go! Psyduck goated performance. Holy heck. Oh my gosh. Also, yeah, it's named Mallard like a duck.
to make an edit of this where just every time I hit like the most insane luck, it's just the whole like Pokemon Showdown copy pasta. So fun fact, speaking of like while we're at this gym, in Diamond and Pearl, this gym's layout was completely different. Instead of the floral clock, it was essentially this big set of trees, and you had to go play hide and seek. There's no two ways about it. It was hide and seek. You found a trainer, and you battled them, and then they told you where the next trainer was hiding, and then you battled that trainer, and so on and so forth until you got to Gardenia. Are the older gyms harder? So I would say Platinum generally is more challenging by design in terms of like the battles than Diamond and Pearl. In terms of the actual gym puzzles, the rock type gym's the same. The fire type, the water type. Why am I skipping around? The grass type gym, we just discussed. I like the floral clock design better. Like the hide and seek quote challenge isn't challenging by any means. The ghost type gym, you could argue technically the ghost type gym is harder in Diamond and Pearl because it requires you to do math. But in Platinum, it's just like navigating with a flashlight. The fighting type gym is largely the same in Diamond and Pearl. It's like pushing like rice paper walls around, and then in Platinum you're gonna see it's like hitting punching bags across like a railing to like knock things over. The water type gym remains the same, the steel type gym remains the same, the ice gym remains the same, and the electric gym remains the same. I think the ones like that did get overhauled, I think they're fine. I think like in terms of like the scale of necessity, I think the ghost type gym probably needed the overhaul the most, because what does solving math problems have to do with ghosts? But then like, I don't know, the grass type gym was fine. And the fighting type gym I think was just good, generally. Oh, any of the older gyms you just started your first Pokemon game with Sword? I think if you're fresh to Pokemon, first of all, welcome. There's a lot of really fun stuff in this franchise. The older gyms, I would say, in terms of the trainers, it kind of depends. They're hit a peak in like Gen 3 through 5, where the gym leaders were designed to be challenging. So like my biggest point of the issue then versus now, and they've kind of been remedying this, but like in Pokemon X and Y, Wolfric is the 8th gym leader. He's an ice type gym leader. His first Pokemon only has 3 moves, despite being level 56, which doesn't make any sense at all. But meanwhile, if you go to, say, like, what's a good example? Like Fantina in this generation. In Platinum, like, her Miss Magius has, like, really good coverage moves. Like, her lead is Duskull. This is, like, a mid-level gym, by the way. In Platinum, she's, like, a mid-level gym. Her Duskull has Will-O-Wisp, Future Sight, Pursuit, Shadow Sneak, all really solid moves. Haunter has Confuse Ray, Hypnosis, Shadow Claw, Sucker Punch, all really good moves. Miss Magius has Shadow Ball, Magical Leaf, Confuse Ray, and Psybeam. All really solid moves. But as the games kind of like got on, a number of the gym, like the challenges, got a bit less challenging, and I was genuinely happy to see that they kind of sort of
stepped back towards it, where like I don't think it's at the same level. Like, for example, Bee's gym leader fight in Pokemon Sword, like, her Pokemon have solid moves. It's not the best moveset, but they're, like, solid. And I think it's really interesting, because with those older gyms, especially if you're doing, like, challenge runs in the game, you have to account for, like, okay, what is this character, like, obviously what hits her Pokemon well, but then also you kind of have to take into account, especially if you're doing a challenge run, what are they hitting back with? And yeah, that's the thing with this gym. I'm over explaining like way too much. Have you been doing the gyms wrong? No, absolutely not. There's no like, this is a thing, is you're playing Pokemon. There's no wrong way to play Pokemon. You can go through the game with just your starter, like 10, 20 levels above any other Pokemon in the game. Just your starter soloing the whole thing. You can only use the same type of the gym. That is actually a very unique challenge. I think that'd be really cool to do. You're not obligated to do that by any means. You don't have to use grass Pokemon in the grass gym. You don't have to use water Pokemon in the water gym. The gym just essentially designates what type of Pokemon they're using. Which is why, like, a lot of Pokemon, like, the big thing in Pokemon Red and Blue is the reason that Bulbasaur is considered the best starter for those games is because Bulbasaur has a really good matchup against the first 3 gyms. Squirtle has a okay matchup, like, has a good matchup against the first gym, and then like a rough matchup against the other 2 gyms, and then Charmander has 2 bad matchups and then 1 neutral one. From that point onwards, you have a lot more options to fill out your team of Pokemon, but there's never the expectation that you're supposed to go in with the same type of Pokemon as the gym. That's partially like due to, like, if you consider that for the first game, you literally wouldn't be able to fight the first gym because there are no rock types available before Pewter City. And it's a similar case for a lot of them. So I don't blame you necessarily for having that misconception, but don't feel by any means that you're obligated to play the game in any specific sort of way. You can have your starter solo bash through the entire game. You can have, like, your methodically set out team where, like, they're all, like, really well stat trained. They all cover each other's weaknesses. You can play with your favorite Pokemon. Or you can do what I'm doing, where chat voted, and I'm doing an all-water type Pokemon run of the game. Benoy! Yes, Benoy! Benoy is a very, yeah, like, here's the thing. Honestly, using your favorites is really cool. Obviously, if you get into, like, the more competitive side of Pokemon, like, if you get into Pokemon Showdown or VGC, you're gonna have to kind of make that either make some sort of leeway or make accommodations if you want to play your favorites, as opposed to which Pokemon generally perform the best. I don't want to say strong Pokemon by any means, because there are Pokemon that perform well without being strong. Because, like, prime example being Quagsire. In Sword and Shield, Quagsire is, like, not an amazing Pokemon competitively. It's not bad by any means. Like, I love Quagsire, but it's not like something that people are actively saying, oh, if I'm going into, like, random competitive battles, I need to account for the possibility of Quagsire coming up in the matchup. That usually doesn't happen. But Quagsire still has unique traits, and those unique traits allow it to actually be a very hard counter to Zacian, the Pokemon Sword Legendary. Every Pokemon has, like, some sort of... Okay, not every Pokemon. Almost every Pokemon, or at least one member of each evolutionary line, has something that you can
make a creative use of in some way. One of my favorite like Pokemon where it's like you don't really think about them as much, but then you take a step back and you look and you're like, oh, this can actually do something really cool, is Vivian. Vivian is the like butterfly Pokemon in Pokemon X and Y. But because of the moveset that it has the ability. Is it normal for Rugby Banoi to keep changing type? Where did you get that? Where did you get that Rugby Banoi out of curiosity? Did you get it from Pokemon Home? Or like from a trade or something? Because I'm pretty sure I know what the reason is, but I just want to make sure. Pokemon Go? Oh, lovely. I'm gonna confirm this is the case before I before I say anything of that like manner. I believe when you transfer your Pokemon to from Pokemon Go to the mainline games, I believe what's happening is you've transferred a Scorbunny or Raboot or Cinderace. I don't know which stage of the evolution line it is, but that Pokemon has the hidden ability known as Libero. We'll get back to what Libero is. Every Pokemon has an ability. So like if we go right here, Gyarados' ability is Intimidate. When Gyarados switches in, it drops the attack stat of an opponent's Pokemon. Prinplups is Torrent, so when it's low on health, it increases the power of water moves, etc., 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 etc. Pokemon usually have about 1, maybe 2 normal abilities, but in Gen 5 they introduced something called hidden abilities, where usually rarer Pokemon, or Pokemon released either through special events or just through random low chance, have a secret either second or third ability instead of their normal ones. And that ability can now also be accessed with an ability patch, but you don't need to worry about that. Scorbunny, Raboot, and Cinderace's hidden ability is Libero. Libero makes it so that the first move, the first non-fire move used by that Pokemon, each time it comes out in battle, it changes its type to the type of that move. So like if you have your Cinderace use, say, Pyro Ball, it's already a fire type, so its ability wouldn't change it to... I'm sorry, no, that's not just the first move, it's all of them now. In Gen 8, Libero makes it so that every time Cinderace uses a move, its type changes to the type of the move that it's using. So if you use Pyro Ball, if it's not already a fire type for whatever reason, it turns into a fire type. If you use U-Turn, it turns into a bug type. Sucker Punch, it turns into a dark type. Scorching Sand, it turns into a ground type, etc., etc., etc. They ended up changing that ability alongside Protean, which is an ability that functionally did the same thing. They ended up nerfing it in Gen 8 so that it only happens the first time, like the first time that the type only changes once per Pokemon being sent out in battle. You don't need to worry about that. The long and short of it is you have a special Scorbunny with a unique ability that is rare among most like fire Banois, and it lets it change its type to the type of the move that it's using. I'm now very curious about something. Okay, I've satiated my curiosity on what I was thinking about. Psychic Banoi Pog, yeah. Just so you are aware though, those changes aren't permanent. Whenever that Pokemon goes back into its Pokeball, its type resets to its default. So like,
A Protean Greninja could change its type to ground with spikes, but then once it goes back in the Pokeball, either from the battle being over or from being switched out, it goes back to being Water Dark type. Your Cinderace could use Zen Headbutt and turn into a Psychic type, but once it goes back into the Pokeball, it turns back into a Fire type. The question I had that I wanted to look into was, there's a move called Flying Press, which simultaneously treats itself as a fighting and a flying type move, and I was curious how that interacted with the ability. It just turns the Pokemon into a fighting type, because the flying type part of it is part of the move's effect, not the move's actual type. But yeah. If you have any more Pokemon questions, please feel free to ask. It's digging time, though. It's the Underground Man! Alright, chat. This was... I say was, because they didn't include it in the remakes. Or rather, they included a different version of it in the remakes. If anybody is coming here from Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, never forget what they took from you. This is the Underground. Never forget what they took from you. Here we go. Exoskeleton egg hurts the enemy 3 times. No, one of them is from the helmet. Yeah, that's Rourke. Exoskeleton egg? I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I also want to make sure that we're talking about the same thing. But this is the Underground. The Underground was a game mechanic in Diamond and Pearl. Then pop-up and dialogue box happens. So the Underground here is a... Oh! Ferritor, because it sounds like its normal name. Oh! Fortress? Is that the name of the Pokemon? It's an egg. Now it has vines for legs. Do you mean like Exeggutor? So, in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, the Underground is a method to catch a lot of Pokemon, and is essentially their way of patching the issues with the... No? Oh. Describe it more, describe it more. I think I had Thorn. Oh, Ferrothorn! Is that it? Ferrothorn, yeah! Ferrothorn's cool, yeah. So one of Ferrothorn's abilities is called Iron Barbs. Whenever a Pokemon makes contact with it, Iron Barbs deals damage to it. And the same thing applies if if you make contact with a Pokemon holding a Rocky Helmet. I don't know necessarily where the third source of damage is coming from, but it might be that the Pokemon is also taking recoil damage. So certain moves like Double Edge
will deal damage to the user. Will deal damage to the user based on the amount of damage that the user dealt. It's usually the trade-off for like really strong moves. I hit, yep. Yeah, so the underground was largely like a social thing. Helped you build, told you to keep ingrained in self-destruct for finding his Dynamax damage. Honestly real. Yeah. Your friend is real for that. Spell chat, there we go. So in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, the underground has largely been redone into a way to patch the issues with the Diamond and Pearl Pokédex, which is that there's not the greatest array of Pokemon available in it. First damage is your Pokemon attacking? Yeah, that would make sense. And then heals. Gets hit and heals twice. Right, because do you do like Ingrain Leech Seed? Is that the strat? Because that's a funky one, I will say. Yeah, one of the big issues with there's a number of issues with the what do you call it, with the Diamond and Pearl Pokédex. The most significant of which is that a number of gym leaders didn't have enough Pokemon of their type to fill out their teams. Hello, where is everything? Oh, there's something. Yeah, this is not gonna get everything here, I don't think. Where'd it go? Is it in the middle here? Yeah, no. Don't have Leech Seed yet? Oh. Oh, it might be from, like, grassy terrain, then. If you do, the, Gigantamax grass move. Or the Dynamax grass move, I should say. But yeah. Big issue with Diamond and Pearl's Pokédex was that there ironically wasn't a lot of Pokemon in it, and a lot of gym leaders thus didn't have Pokemon to fill out their teams, which led to like the Electric gym leader having a Normal and a Water type on his team, the Ice gym leader having a Fighting type on her team, the Fire type Elite Four only having 2 Fire types, and then a Steel Ground, a Ghost Flying, and a Normal type. Good evening! Good evening, Nemesis! And because they're basing the game specifically on Diamond and Pearl and not Platinum, they use the Underground as essentially a method of rectifying that issue with the Sinnoh Pokédex that Platinum also fixed. Are bricks rare? Can't find any for... Okay, so the brick joke, the thing with Eevee using a brick to evolve is a joke among fans. Eevee evolves using different stones, among other evolutionary methods. I think in the current generation, it can evolve using a fire, water, thunder, leaf, or ice stone. Yeah, it can... No, it's fine. You beat Bayonetta 3 and you're depressed? Oh no, why? Because it turned out she was at least bisexual at the end? Yeah, Eevee primarily evolves using stones and also some other methods like friendship, friendship at daytime, friendship at nighttime, friendship at having a fairy move. But one of the jokes back when Eevee used a lot of stones to evolve was like, oh,
you can evolve your Eevee into a ghost type by using a brick on it. I assume you understand what the joke was there. Where are this, like, treasures? Hello? Yeah. So the pings here on the top screen, which is the one on the left. Yeah. The pings on the top screen essentially show where, like, items and stuff are. And then, yeah, this is... I'm backtracking again, but in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, the Underground is used to have wild Pokemon in it, to spawn Pokemon and rectify a lot of the issues with Diamond and Pearl's base Pokédex. In original Diamond and Pearl, the Underground was a social adjacent area. So you could, like, we'll get to it, but you could, like, make a secret base and, like mess with your friends and stuff, where you could, like, put smoke screens in front of their base, or, like, spin them around, or, like, send them on some giant, like, Rube Goldberg trip. It's not even that. It's not... I don't see the relationship. It's been... You understand the disappointment. Well, then, what's got you so down, friend? Where? Hello? I'm horrible at spelunking today. Oh, hello. I don't know why I tried that. Oh my gosh, okay. What's in here? What's in here? Okay. She dies, and her Silver the Hedgehog's daughter took up the mantle of Bayonetta. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of... Yeah. Yeah. The wall is bulging slightly. Notices the wall bulging. Oh, whoa, what's this? Eevee-related question. Vulpix and Eevee are not related. There are a number of Pokemon that are based on similar animals. There's not necessarily an inherent relation between them, though. They might... Like, occasionally they'll do, like, little Pokédex entries that'll be like, these Pokemon sometimes, like, hang out together. But there's no, like, inherent connection between Vulpix and Eevee. They are both, like, foxes or fox-adjacent, and they both evolve with evolutionary stones. But there's no, like, secret lore connecting Eevee and Vulpix. There are for some Pokemon. Like, for example, Seviper and Zangoose have, like, a whole thing together. Let's see. Other Pokemon like Heatmore and Durant. Where's this last one gonna be? I want to say it's down. It is. Okay. There we go. Yeah, there are Pokemon that have, like, specific lore with each other, but it's ultimately usually not a lot. One of the things that's noteworthy here is in the Underground, one of the big things that you can do is you can bury spheres, and then you can dig up those spheres at, like, later times to essentially have them become bigger So like I might make like a little stash right here. Oh. Is Eevee that evolves into Ninetales? Vulpix is the one that evolves into Ninetales. Thank you! Vulpix is the one that evolves into Ninetales. Eevee is the one that evolves into, like, Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon, Espeon, Umbreon, Glaceon, Leafeon, and or Sylveon. Yeah. So the reason that I'm burying these spheres is because I can come and pick them up at a later date, and depending on how much time has passed, they will grow significantly bigger, and bigger spheres can be used for trading with NPCs in the underground. And a lot of the time those NPCs just, like, give you cosmetic stuff, but, like, that's ultimately what the underground was. Like, there wasn't... Technically, you could do the secret base stuff, and you could get, like a special flag, and, like an extra star on your trainer card. Might find a way to show that off. Probably not going to happen, but we might find a way to show it off. But this is mainly just a social thing. Like, oh no, bubbles! Gotta pop the bubbles. Like, things like that. But then we'll get to it eventually. You could make, like, a base. You could make a secret base, and then just, like, decorate it. You could decorate it with other stuff. I think the one thing that I am gonna unfortunately have an issue showing though is, unless I can find a way to do it, our ability to show off the underground in this stream is kind of limited by the fact that your ability to customize your base is, I would say, gated. It's primarily based on how well you do in terms of, like, stealing flags and stuff. So each person's base in the underground has a flag, and you can steal flags from your friends' bases, and then you get, like, cool upgrades and stuff. There we go. Let me see if I can find any of the... Because the other thing worth noting here is that there are a number of valuables to find in the underground. So obviously, like, we found revives, for example, but, like, this was how you got a lot of the fossils in Diamond and Pearl. And we might be able to show that. Oh, this is another thing. Lore. That is a plate. That is one of the fragments of God. I'm not kidding when I say that. I do not exaggerate when I say we just dug up a fragment of God. Yep, we'll go over it once this wall collapses. This is a stone plate. Prior to Gen 6, there were 17 plates, now there are 18. Wait, no, prior to Gen 7, there were 16 plates, now there are 17. One for every type except for normal. These are the artifacts, they're the parts of Arceus, the god of Pokemon. And they're essentially what allows him to be any type. All you know about Pokemon is whatever's in Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers is like
Smash Brothers is weird, because Smash Brothers is a really good gateway into a lot of Nintendo stuff. But, like, I think I would be lying if I said, like, going off of Smash Brothers isn't going to completely blindside you when you get certain things. Like, you know how everyone complains about, like, all the sword characters in Smash, like all the Fire Emblem sword characters? Fire Emblem fans are also complaining about that because, like, yeah, a lot of the main lords in Fire Emblem use swords, but, like, there are so many other characters in Fire Emblem that use things other than swords. Like, even just going by the main characters, like, Marth uses a sword, fine, whatever. Alm uses a sword, but also uses a bow. Celica uses a sword, but also uses magic. Sigurd uses a sword, but he also does that on horseback, which you can't really do in Smash. Same-ish deal with Seliph, so we'll pass over them. Leaf is the same deal to the previous two, but also just uses a bunch of different weapons. Roy uses a sword, but now we get into the fun part. Lyn does use a sword. Different type of sword, though. Celica, yeah. One of the two protagonists of Fire Emblem Gaiden and its remake, Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia. Really good game. Shadows of Valentia is one of the best games on the 3DS. Although I would say Awakening is the best, but we'll get to Awakening. Also, if I'm ever just rambling too much, please let me know. Fire Emblem 7, the first one that was available in the States. Known in Japan as Blazing Sword, known in the US as just Fire Emblem. Lyn uses a sword. Elwood also uses a sword. Hector, fan favorite character, uses an axe. Not just any axe, like super lightning axe. But no, they don't put him in Smash Brothers. Fire Emblem 8. Erica uses a sword. It's a rapier, so technically it would be swung differently than your standard, like, you know, short sword, or like most of the other characters' swords. Ephraim, another one of the main characters, or rather the other protagonist of the game, uses a lance, like a spear. Don't put him in Smash though. Ike uses a sword, big sword. Celica uses magic. Chrom uses a sword. It is the same sword as Marth's. Same with Lucina. Robin, however, uses magic. The problem is, in their own games, Chrom and Lucina can also use other weapons aside from the sword. They can also just use magic swords that do different things, like the Levin sword. Not in Smash. Fire Emblem Fates. Corrin has the, like, flaming chainsaw katana that they do have it in Smash Brothers, granted, but also, like, Ryoma has a lightning katana. Xander has a big old sword that shoots lasers out of it. Leo uses tree magic. Takumi uses a lightsaber bow. Hinoka uses a spear. Camilla uses an axe. Depending on what game you play, Sakura either uses magic or a bow. Elise uses magic. Azuri uses a spear. Plenty of stuff to work with there. Takumi, yeah. Takumi is one of the players' family members in Fire Emblem Fates. He's the funny laser bow man. Question remains: will more things spawn down here? Possibly. Like, even going from there. Takumi is your favorite Kamen Rider protagonist? Standing by. Complete. I haven't seen the new Defies movie. That's the other thing. I haven't seen the new Defies movie. I really need to, though. It looks really cool. I think that wraps up our time down here, then. Takumi is your favorite jump scare? What do you mean? Oh! Initial D! Yeah! I love Initial D. Night of Fire. So I think we talked to the guy now and he's like, oh, we're gonna give you the drill for your thingy thing. Oh, he gave me traps. So we're gonna do these underground challenges while I'm rambling about Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Tofu Boy would have been obvious. That's fair, yeah. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Best Fire Emblem game on Switch? Well, like... the options are Warriors, Three Houses, Warriors, and Engage. And if you don't, like, specifically like Engage, I mean, it's kind of a default. If we're talking, like, an actual competition for, like, best Fire Emblem game on a console, I think, like, every other console has at least, like, some form of competition between it. The NES, it's between original and Gaiden. Both old. The SNES, it's between Mystery of the Emblem, Genealogy, and Thracia. Genealogy is the best one of those three. Just saying. The Game Boy Advance is Binding Blade, Blazing Sword, and Sacred Stones. I like Sacred Stones the most. Isn't there a crossover Fire Emblem? We don't talk about Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE. Partially because apparently Intelligent Systems doesn't either. Because fans have been requesting for more Tokyo Mirage Sessions content in... See, here's the thing. I like it. It's very unique, but, like, it is very far removed from, like, traditional Fire Emblem stuff. As much as FE4's wanted a remake, I wanted Path of Radiance more. Okay, yeah... But no, because now, like, all the people are gonna complain when they realize that Heather was always, like... I forget, was she gay or was she bi? Yeah, Heather is implicitly gay. It's not really going to be much of a problem. The problem is going to arise when you're going to get all those same people who are like, actually, in the Japanese version, she says something different and it's a mistranslation. So, she's not actually gay, even though the original localization also said the same thing. And it's probably more heavily implied in the Japanese version. That is the equivalent of having a gacha collabing with Persona 5. No. A gacha collabing with Persona 5 is a death sentence. Rest in peace, Dragalia Lost. Can I do the Discord mod copy pasta in that place? Let me see it. Let me see what I can find. Okay. This is the first one that's come up. I can't fucking believe this. All I wanted was a peaceful, drama-free server where everyone could hang out and have fun. But no,
You had to go ruin it with your stupid protests. After all the time and effort I put into this server, after all the blood, sweat, and tears I've shed to keep things running smoothly, this is how you repay me? By staging a protest? By questioning my authority? I've given my life to this server. I've sacrificed so much for you all. And this is the thanks I get? You all have no idea what it's like to deal with your incessant demands and complaints day in and day out. I've had to put up with your bullshit for 10 hours a day. What used to be a haven for civil discussion has turned into a cesspool of drama and bullshit. I'm sick of it. I'm done. I'm fucking done. I can't take this anymore. You want to protest? Fine. Do it without me. I'm washing my hands of this server. I hope you all are happy. You've successfully driven away one of the most dedicated and hardworking mods this server has ever seen. Congratulations.
That felt absolutely disgusting. Oh. The no memes in general. Don't forget to save. Thank you. The game saves every time we go into the underground, but thank you for your concern nonetheless. Alright, we have to set off one of the traps in the underground. So, chat, they call me Big Smoke. Still good? I'm glad.
Guys, no memes in general. Anyway, I think
I'm not saying the last part of that. That's gonna get taken out of context. I've completely lost where we were. Right. Path of Radiance localization. Yeah. There are going to be those people who are like just absolutely like up in arms about any new game coming out with any character being something adjacent to LGBT. Thought Mr. Mime was pink. So we'll get to that. Mr. Mime is pink. Normal Mr. Mime. What you have encountered is a Galarian Mr. Mime. One of the things that's really cool about Pokemon is, starting with Sun and Moon, there will be regional variants of certain Pokemon. So the Rattata from Alola are black and have like different like hair structure or fur structure rather than the ones from Kanto or most other regions, which are purple. The Whoopers from Paldea are ground poison instead of ground water type, and they have different physical structures. They learn different moves, and they evolve into different Pokemon. Normal Wooper evolves into Quagsire, whereas Paldean Wooper evolves into Clodsire. If Bayo 3 doesn't have you, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE would cleanse your messy palate. Whopper, I'm so glad that they mentioned it. Where is it? There he is. I'm also so sorry if I just misgendered you there, Shrimp. I'm so sorry. Keep hearing genealogy as incest or something. Either way, either game would be a lose-lose. Okay. So yes and no. Because genealogy is very much like the, how I'd say, like the grittier fantasy. I said he, referring to you. I don't know your pronouns. If I misgendered you, I'm sorry. But genealogy is like that gritty fantasy thing where, like, yeah, a lot of the royals kept it in the bloodline. Also, why couldn't you bring some Pokemon from Pokemon Go? Starting with Pokemon Sword and Shield, they made it so that only a certain number of Pokemon are available in any given Pokemon game. Right now, there are currently over 1,000 Pokemon. 1,025 different Pokemon to be specific, not including regional variants. to compensate for that, and by that I mean to not have to program animations for all of them, Game Freak has made it so that there's only a certain number of Pokemon available in each game. So, in the base game for Sword and Shield, I believe there's only about... I think in the base game for Scarlet and Violet, there's only about 400 Pokemon, and then like a couple hundred more with the DLC. But there are certain Pokemon that like are only available in some games. Yeah, it has the... If it has the little no sign over it, are you looking at it as just your Pokemon home storage, or are you looking at it as your Pokemon home storage is there, and then on the top is your storage from Pokemon Sword and Shield? Guess Fire Emblem where you don't have a player avatar wouldn't be quite popular. Oh, just from Pokemon Home going to Sword? Yeah, so certain Pokemon, like, certain Pokemon, like, you can have them in Pokemon Bank, but those Pokemon have not been programmed to be usable in Pokemon Sword and Shield. So, like, what's a good example of that? I need to scroll through because I know. Yeah, so Ursaring. Ursaring is available in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. It's available in Pokemon Legends Arceus, and you can have it from Pokemon Go. You can transfer it to your Pokemon Bank, but Ursaring is not programmed to be usable in Pokemon Sword and Shield. So no Alolan Muck? Unfortunately not. Yeah, I think Muck is another one of those Pokemon that's not available in Sword and Shield. Let me see. Yeah. Alolan, both forms of Muck are not usable in Sword and Shield, and only regular, like, non-rainbow Muck is usable in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. No brown Wooper either, unfortunately, no. That's also partially to do with the fact that the brown Wooper was introduced in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which came out after Sword and Shield. So that version of Wooper didn't exist in Sword and Shield. Like, it didn't exist when Sword and Shield came out. What did he say? He's just gonna give me one of each sphere, yeah? I've done so much of it by accident. There we go! That explains why you can use the white Vulpix and only find red ones. Yeah, so like the white Vulpix is an Alolan Vulpix. And granted, they've gotten kind of like fast and loose with it, where like a lot of the Alolan Pokemon in the Scarlet and Violet DLC show up even though you're not in Alola. But generally the assumption is that they are region or habitat specific variants of a Pokemon. The regular like red Vulpix is the more common one, whereas the white Vulpix is more from Alola's mountain climates, or like the tundra climates in the terrarium in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I know that's like a very like long way around explanation. Got completely lost in this discussion. I still need to cover the whole thing in genealogy. One of the two major issues of the familial variety in genealogy is Lachesis, one of the main characters, has a bit of a fascination with her brother, in that she essentially views him as like the ideal like gentleman, or the ideal man. And she's like, oh, the suitors can't hope to like live up or compare to him. And that unfortunately kind of sends a certain kind of message. if you were to get other Switch Pokemon games, you can't use the homeless Meow. What do you mean the homeless Meow? Oh, like Galarian Meowth. Let me take a look. Like the one with the big old beard? If it's yeah, all the versions of Meowth are usable in both Sword and Shield. But then they're also all usable in Scarlet and Violet. Yeah. But then the other thing of the familial variety is primarily due to a glitch. Genealogy of the Holy War has a more complex support system than most of their Fire Emblem games. In a lot of the Fire Emblem games, you just have units enter next to each other. They grow support progress, and then they eventually have support conversations. In a lot of more modern games, there's other things like Seeds of Trust, things like that, that allow characters to have relationships faster, as well as like the dating sim elements in Three Houses. Because of Genealogy's more complex system, it's essentially made or intended so that because Julia and Seliph are half-siblings, they intentionally programmed it so that Julia has a negative support modifier with Seliph, so they can never achieve S support together, which would imply marriage and the things that follow. However, due to an exploit in one of the subsystems of Genealogy's support mechanics, you can bypass the negative modifier for Julia and Seliph support and end up getting them to that level, which ultimately has become a bit of like a joke in the fandom, or like a running thing that like a lot of people are aware of. It's not canon by any means, but a lot of people are aware of it. And yeah, that's probably where a lot of that conversation in relation to genealogy comes from. From what I recall, outside of like the meme ships, I think Selph's primary ship is with Larce. I could be wrong though. But yeah. Put it simply, S support is a mechanic and not well programmed as it is nowadays. Yeah. They intentionally tried to program around having those two S support, but due to an oversight, it ended up backfiring anyway. There is one worse one though, and it's from what is, in my opinion, the best Fire Emblem game on the 3DS, Fire Emblem Awakening. Yeah, did you know there's one of those types of supports in Fire Emblem Awakening? It's oh boy. Where is it? I need to find it. Yeah, Lucina and Owain. Yep. Lucina and Owain. It's, yeah. Where is it? Here it is. Here's the full support list.
We'll scroll down, find Lucina. Where is he? Yeah, Lucina and Elaine. Where is it? I'm rereading it here. So, like, the actual conversation between them... Mudamada? Tomato, oh god. I need to remember how his voice goes. Hold on. Yeah! I have not heard his voice in a long time. I'm very sorry. That was bad. The offspring unit S supports feel contrived in a game where you get benefit from S supporting parent units. So that's its own thing. First of all, Lucina and Elaine's the existence of the S support is definitely a problem, but the actual conversation itself doesn't imply anything. But the whole thing is, Awakening was initially supposed to be the last Fire Emblem game. And because of that, there's a lot of elements of previous Fire Emblem games that carried over, along with, like, previous map designs and stuff, and, like, lore things. One of those that carried over was the whole genealogy thing of, like, characters having S supports, and then their children become major plot parts of the story. But they didn't want to do what genealogy did again, so they included the time travel element, so they have the kids interacting with the parents. Which is how we got to this point. However, in kind of keeping that spirit of genealogy, they also had it so that the second generation can have those supports with each other. Maybe they kept a bit too much of genealogy in certain areas. But then there's other elements that are like kind of taking like a little bit from a certain game, or a little bit from another game. What's her name? Pan as like the Togwell is kind of like a vague like reference to the Laguz from the Radiant Saga, or the Tellius Saga. But one of the things to come of this is that the player character Robin was based and also implied to be the reincarnation of two prior player insert characters, that being Mark from Blazing Sword and more significantly Chris from New Mystery: The Emblem. For context, the inheritor of Lynn and Katarina, characters from those respective games, temporarily recognize Robin as being quite similar to those characters, and then in Fates, Rajat just confirms that Corrin is a reincarnation of Robin, and she's a reincarnation of Tharja. I feel like we're derailing. We absolutely are, but I feel like I wanna close this train of thought just before I wrap up the stream, because we are like at the end of most of what I wanted to do for this stream. But I do want to like tie this tangent neatly together at least. Yeah. But so what that ended up leading to is they were like, you know what? This might be the last game in the franchise. Let's just fire on all cylinders. And they produced, in my opinion, one of the best games on the 3DS. Arguably the best Fire Emblem game of all time, in my opinion. Really good soundtrack, really great visuals, da-da-da-da-da. Balance is a little but it's a Fire Emblem game. But one of the things that came of that is they decided to go really extra with some of the support conversations, more specifically the ones for the player character. Head pat! The support conversations for the player character. And with those support conversations, a lot of people realized, oh, in this like
medieval fantasy, not medieval, but like this fantasy, like tactical RPG, I can have my self-insert character marry my favorite character, unless you're gay. Because they didn't include gay as supports. They get that eventually, but not in this game. But they're like, okay, I can have my self-insert character marry my favorite character in this game that is the opposite gender of my player character. And that led to when it came to the next game, Fates, because Awakening sold well enough that it kept the Fire Emblem franchise going. There were a lot of elements in Fates that were controversial, to say the least. I think Fate's like core concept is really good. I think the overall design of like Fates' maps and balance is a little rough. Like Birthright is very much the easier route, and Conquest has some really cool map concepts though. But there are a lot of elements of the game, especially the Japanese version of the game, where it feels a decent bit more dating sim, where they noticed that a lot of people enjoyed the fact that they got to have like the as supports and like the like moments with the other characters that they liked. And they were like, let's lean into that. And that's not necessarily a problem in and of itself. Before you get into Azura, the cousin thing was a weird translation mishap. It's probably that like their mothers were like sisters in arms or something. But like that's Fates is a whole other Shang spiel where it's like, oh, technically, like obviously the Norian royals aren't your actual siblings, but then like the Hoshidan royals, by some weird technicality, aren't your siblings either. It's weird. It's dumb and weird. But there are a lot of more dating simmy elements. That said though, I love my castle. I love the little like sprites moving about my castle. I wish we'd bring that back. I think that was really cool. And then that kind of hit its extreme with Three Houses, where Three Houses hits like this gothic academia setting and is like the final form of a lot of those dating sim elements, where you're like literally giving them like gifts like in a dating sim, or you're literally like having tea with them and like doing things with them as like dating sim elements, not going into the sauna with one of your companion characters is something that you would find much more commonly in a dating sim than in a tactical RPG. If you want to say training, sure. If you want to say like, I could even see like getting a meal, sure. But like going into the sauna with them, especially, is the line where it's like, okay, I know what you are. They never specifically mentioned Zuri's your cousin. That's why you think that. That's fair, honestly. It's been a while since I've played Fates, so I would have to review the dialogue on that one. But yeah. Three Houses, I feel like, kind of ended up hitting that same Persona 5 kick, where there are a lot of people that came into the game either because they genuinely enjoy the characters or because they enjoy the gameplay, but a lot of people are also in the door because of like the dating sim or dating sim adjacent elements. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, but it's just how goes it? We're going pretty good. I'm currently rambling, and we're gonna wrap up in a little bit, but I'm glad to see you here. I hope you're having a nice day. I think Face Bathhouse was more provocative than the sauna. Absolutely, like it absolutely was. This is not like excusing Face by any means, but it's like it's specifically like Fate's already catches a bunch of shade for it, but like with Three Houses, I feel like it's massaged in such a way that people are like willing to give it a pass.
and it's partially just like, I would say, in a lot of ways, Three Houses is a better game. It's definitely a better written game than Fates, but in a lot of ways, Three Houses is a overall superior product to Fates. I think gameplay wise, Three Houses is kind of personally. Is there a point to having more than reset speed? Oh, 256 speed. Do you mean like as a stat or like as your EVs, IVs? Misogynist, no. What do you mean 256 speed? In which regard? Like as in the physical, like the stat number here? Because the stat number, yeah, the stat numbers for these go way higher. Go way higher. You can have up to, I believe it's, let me open up Showdown just so I can remember. You can have up to 252 EVs and 31 IVs in a specific stat, but like a Pokemon's base speed can get like way higher than 256. I think the fastest Pokemon, like just going by base stats, not even going by like boosting your speed with a move. Fastest Pokemon is Regieleki, who has a maximum base speed of 548. Hate this moment only because you can't tell if you're hungry, not if you just want a snack because you can. I would say have a snack, drink some water. If you still feel hungry after that, make the decision then. Yeah, Pokemon stats can get really high. Like, Regieleki can get fast enough to the point that its speed bypasses Trick Room. Trick Room being an effect in Pokemon that's supposed to reverse the speed order. Regieleki can get fast enough that it no longer applies to that calculation. But yeah, no, like, because I think I've said this before. Gonna get into Marvel? I'm absolutely gonna get into Marvel. Are you kidding me? I'm so excited for that game. But real quick, circling back to Three Houses. I think I've said this before. There's a lot of good elements about Regieleki is Sonic the Hedgehog. He really is. Never played, but you're aware of the movement and really want to try it. I absolutely recommend it. I will gladly, like, here's the thing. It might be on sale right now, actually. Okay, it's not on sale right now, but like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on sale frequently goes on sale for like $7. You can wishlist it on Steam. Yeah. It frequently goes on sale for like $7. I would be absolutely down to just have a video where we just chill and like play Marvel. But I'm digressing. While I'm already digressing, Three Houses hits that like way that it can kind of sneak the dating sim elements in that like there's a lot of good things about Three Houses. Like I think the story, love it or hate it, is a very provocative story in terms of it has elements that are worth discussing. I think the main problem with discussing Three Houses is that a lot of people play one route and then don't play the other routes, primarily because like there's a lot of elements against that. I might actually just rant about that. One of the big issues with Three Houses is that there are 4 completely different routes, not including the DLC, that all have different perspectives and resolutions regarding the same conflict. And the problem with seeing all of that is that those DLCs, or like those 3 chapters were... How many chapters? Hold on. Yeah. Those chapters where like everything differs are the back half of the game. More specifically, it's an average of about
it's an average of about 9 chapters for each route. In comparison to the 12 chapters prior that are all completely identical with like minor differences in like which characters you have available. The Academy arc, the 12 chapters of the Academy arc, functionally play out almost the same for Golden Deer, Blue Lions, Black Eagles. Obviously there's differences because you have different characters available to you and there's different side missions, X, Y, and Z. But largely, the first 60% of the game is going to be identical. Is it 60%? What's math? Sorry, the first 57% of the game is going to be almost completely identical for all 4 playthroughs that you have to do to get the entire story. And that's assuming you read everything, which a lot of people don't. So the game does not incentivize you to play every single route. Have you drank chocolate milk, you feel better now? I'm really happy for you. The Academy arc is the Kingdom story the most. It probably is, honestly. But yeah, like the Academy arc is 12 chapters that you have to play through the same 12 chapters repeatedly to see different 9 chapters. And even then, you have to actually read the dialogue, which a lot of people for some reason don't want to do. They play through the route of whichever character they like the most. Let's be honest. When you first bought the game, you didn't know anything about the story. You picked the house with the character you liked the most. You saw the story from that perspective, and a lot of people just didn't want to play the other paths because they were like, okay, it seems pretty cut and dry from this character's perspective that this is right and this is wrong. And you know, play the other ones, and that's how every single thing. And look at that! Our entire conversation, this stream, led to 3 more years of 3 Houses discourse. 3 out of 4 arcs, and Silver Snow is just Golden Deer, which sucked because he wanted to play twice as both genders. So, Silver Snow was the first route written. It was the only route written by Intelligent Systems, if I'm remembering that correctly. Silver Snow was the first route written for the game, and then the other routes were written, which is why I feel like thematically, not discussing anything about like the actual politics of the game or like who's right or who's wrong, because every character's ideology has their points towards it and the points against it. The entire point of the game is that nobody's truly right. But I feel like thematically, Edelgard is supposed to be the villain because she's the aggressor in the original story that was written. She checks a lot of the thematic boxes of Fire Emblem villains, literally like being the Flame Emperor, which was the title of the villain in Genealogy of the Holy War. She controls an empire. How many villainous factions in Fire Emblem are an empire? Grotto, what's the name of Hardin's that empire, the Regal Empire, and straight up Edelgard is a villain, no pretenses. Yeah, and like I can understand because also like the whole thing is that like Silver Snow is written, and then Edelgard's route is literally the offshoot of Silver Snow, where you fulfill certain conditions. Granted, they're not difficult to fulfill, but you fulfill certain conditions, and then you get to see the story from Edelgard's perspective this time. And you get to side with Edelgard this time. Like Azure Moon for the characters, that's fair. Yeah, that's honestly pretty solid. I think Azure Moon technically gives you the most roster access, but I could be wrong. Yeah,
there's other things you could argue about, like, oh, there's problems with Dimitri's ideology, there's problems with, like, the alliances that Edelgard has. Claude didn't kill the king of racism fast enough. Like, it's a good story. It's provocative for discussion. I don't think it's a good Fire Emblem game, though. Like, as the actual Fire Emblem game mechanics go, I feel like Three Houses is kind of meh. Who's the king of racism? What's his... Well, this is kind of unfortunate. You know Ingrid is the racist, so here's the thing. Ingrid is racist. Hilda owns slaves. Those are just two things that you need to accept going into Three Houses. But Nemesis, I'm being so completely, absolutely honest with you when I say it. The villain of the Golden Deer route, Nemesis, is the king of racism. I wish I was kidding. No, not Holst. Like, hold on. Like, the actual character named Nemesis. Where is he? Yeah, this guy. He's the CEO of racism. You missed the joke I was... Yeah. But yeah, no, like... Long way around to get to that. I don't think, as a Fire Emblem game, I don't think Three Houses is that good. As a game, it's solid. As a story, it is very provocative of discussion, and I think that alone is worth praising. But as a Fire Emblem game, I feel like it kind of falls short. That's just my personal preference. But as a result, also, with a lot of people hopping on, because ultimately, let's be honest, Dark Academia with dating sim elements does in fact go burr. And he praises him as a hero to hide history. Yeah. Yeah, like, Dark Academia with dating sim elements does in fact go burr. Let's not beat around the bush here. There's a good number of people that played Fire Emblem Three Houses because of dating sim elements. There's a good number of people who played Persona 5 for dating sim elements. Not necessarily a point against either game, but I feel like because of that, there's a lot of people saying like, oh, this is the best Fire Emblem game. It's like, as a Fire Emblem game, I don't think Three Houses is good. As a game, it's good. As a Fire Emblem game, I don't think it's that good. You were already a Fire Emblem fan? Honestly, good for you. Like, I don't mean to say that in like a dismissive manner, but like, I'm genuinely glad you were already a Fire Emblem fan before Three Houses. And for people who did become Fire Emblem fans because of Three Houses, I genuinely hope that you're interested in trying out other things in the series. And I think that's kind of the idea that they had when they were doing Engage, is like, hey, here's little tastes and little references of other games in the Fire Emblem series. We've got a bunch of people in here now who like got in the door on Three Houses for one reason or another. Let's show them sort of like stuff that's closer to actual standard Fire Emblem mechanics. Shadows of Valencia is your favorite 3DS Fire Emblem. It's a good swan song of the series on that system. Honestly, yeah, really good game. Amazing game. I've been rambling for a half hour. I don't even remember what I was talking about at this point. Like, I don't remember how we got here. I guess the biggest thing to end this off with is Fire Emblem Engage is not that bad. It's genuinely not. It's like weirdly like really poppy colors. and there's a lot of like kind of cheesy anime nonsense in it. But like mechanically as a Fire Emblem game, it's pretty solid. It's definitely, in my opinion, a better Fire Emblem game mechanically than Three Houses is. And I feel like a lot of people just dismiss the game because it's a little weird around the edges and a little poppy in anime. There were a number of people who detracted from Engage, saying like, "Oh, the characters aren't interesting, Some of that is true for certain characters, but like, even just in terms of basic elements, there's a lot to like about certain characters. But the most telling thing about it was the fact that a lot of those people didn't realize that Pandreo and Panette are siblings, despite the fact the game does not hide it. You just didn't read the dialogue. It's wacky mechanics. It's wacky in mechanics and style. Yeah. Why is it playing Sprite Sundays now? The category isn't even art. Why is it doing this? Why is the bot doing Sprite Sunday things? It's not even Sprite Sunday. Wait, I'm in the future? I'm everywhere. But yeah. I could honestly, like, I could do a whole stream just ranting about, like, games in general. But even, like, just all of the games that, like, Smash Brothers is a gateway to, Fire Emblem, Pokemon. Obviously, I would assume a lot of people play Mario. A lot of the Zeldas, I'm really excited for the new Zelda game. Fire Emblem Ramble caused temporal manipulation. Yes, it did. Kid Icarus Uprising, if you have a 3DS and you need to shell out some money for a 3DS game, get Kid Icarus Uprising. I could not stress that enough. That'll be its own separate ramble. I might even just do this in the server at some point. In fact, if anybody like has enjoyed me just rambling about absolute nonsense here, this is the server. Are the game sucks on Citra? Yeah, that's why you have to play it on official hardware. Break those wrists. Break those wrists. Yeah, the server's up there. I might just, like, genuinely host a thing in there at some point where because the clock says I'm at midnight. Yeah. Yeah, I might just genuinely host a thing in there where I start rambling about just whatever. Because there's a lot to talk of. Like, even just in all of the games that Smash Ultimate is a gateway to in some way, shape, or form, or all the franchises. Like, I can even make a connection, be like, oh, Snake, I can talk about Metal Gear. And then I can talk about Metal Gear Rising. There's so much to talk about. Absolutely. If enough people are down for it, I might just do a just chatting stream or just ramble about games, if people want to. I am actually shredding my voice from talking continuously, though. So I have, again, linked the Discord server there. If anybody wants to hang out, chat bullies me in there. I post, like, voice acting bloopers, things like that. Art teasers, things like that. Cheered up in this talk after the tragedy of Bayo 3, so you're gonna tune out. That's fair. I'm actually gonna wrap it right here. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Thank you for the lovely conversations. We got to play some Pokemon Platinum, and we got to talk about games a lot. So, honestly, this stream's a win.